Intersection Magazine Podcast.
Welcome to Intersection Magazine Podcast. This week I'll be sharing some insights from a local author. His name is Livingstone Mukasa. He describes himself as a financial advisor, entrepreneur, real estate investor. People call him the People's Professor. He's the author of The Great Financial Rebuild and Investing for the Future. What I did is I found his Facebook page, wrote down some of the insights that he'd shared on his Facebook page about finance, and created a folder which I'll share with you in the next few minutes. Thank you for listening, and I hope you can subscribe. So the first are what Mr. Livingstone calls the 10 core messages of financial literacy. Number 1 says, never spend more than you make, ever. Live below your means. That does not mean that you shouldn't increase those means. Number 2, avoid personal consumption. If you ever borrow, make sure it's for investments that will eventually pay for themselves. Number 3, avoid buying things in excitement. Always seek utility other than seeking to impress people. Number 4, you can either look rich or be rich, but it's most likely you won't accomplish both. Number 5, live like you'll die tomorrow, but invest as if you live forever. Number 6, the riskiest thing you can do is not take a risk. Number 7, take care of yourself and don't think your well-being belongs to somebody else. Number 8, when you make your investments, allow them time to grow and compound. Number 9, time isn't money. Money is time. Whoever time is money had it backward. Whoever said time is money had it backward. Here's some interesting insights that he shares about the challenge that many of us face paying school fees. Now, he says that most people are aware of the need to build a house and get out of renting as soon as they can. This is because we are aware of the lifetime cost of renting being much higher than the cost of owning a home. He goes on to say that the most expensive item that you have to contend with is not housing, but rather school fees. He shares that it will cost you about 108 million shillings in today's money to put one child through school, using an average of 2 million per term for primary and 3 million per term or per semester for a 3-year university program. And if you have 4 children spaced at intervals of 2 years, you'll be paying school fees for at least 24 years in a total of 432 million shillings. There are two things he suggests you need to carry away from this information. Don't spend more than a third of your income on school fees. If you do, you will struggle in other areas like saving for retirement. Just like housing, work on finding a more solid and long-term solution for your school fees, rather than depending on monthly paychecks. One such solution would be to build one rental per child. One of the other important things he mentions is the aspect of delayed gratification. Once you realize that deferred gratification will improve you, you begin to count how long you can live if you don't spend money that you have now. The magic happens when you start to consistently live on 50% of your total income and invest a balance and then allow it to grow and compound over time. Once that happens, it only takes you 12.5 years or less to be financially independent. Then he gives some advice about scams. There is nothing like quick money. If you know you will make money in the long run, you will be less likely to listen to broke people showing you how to get rich. Avoid anything that limits your ability to consult and takes away your time to think. If anyone tries to pressure you, selling on you, walk away. If it later turns out that you were wrong, just know it's better to be safe than sorry. Just like anything of value, good financial advice will cost you money. I find it baffling that someone who is trying to invest 20 million finds it hard to pay for a consultation fee of 100,000. Have a financial advisor that you're happy to pay regularly for those services. You are on your own. Learn to defend your interests. Livingstone goes on to say that he has found that believing with a bit of skepticism is healthy. If it does not make sense, it is better to stay away. Remember, it's a jungle, and as long as you lay with lions, you owe it to yourself to know where their mouth is. Most of those you're trying to impress hardly care. Do your thing and sing your song. It might sound out of tune for a while, but with time and some decisions along the way, you'll make it. Don't let people make you feel that you're being left behind. Always be careful when someone appeals to emotions to cloud your judgment. If someone starts talking about being your own boss, passive income, financial freedom, millionaire, etc., while selling you toothpaste or some digital coin, just know that you're being led to the slaughterhouse. Know things you want to invest in and those you want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Don't waste time with people who hardly know what they're talking about. Sometimes it's a gimmick to use the information you supply against you in order to scam you. Never hand your money to someone who makes promises you cannot verify. Stop believing it's okay to steal or to be corrupt as long as you're not caught. Or that it's okay to be first and fast to make money in a scam. Make no mistake, if this is your thinking, you will be conned, and it's only a matter of time. Believe in things that you have. Believing in things that you have no control over is wrong. Know that you will consistently have to battle scams, whatever your station in life is. To survive, you need to educate yourself about the ways of money and finance. Have advisors you're happy to pay for their service and learn to question things and statements people make. That way you'll avoid falling prey to the fangs of scams. Livingstone then gives you key financial planning points or planning action points as per age brackets. In your 20s, he suggests that you aim for consistent income to wean yourself off from the support of others. If you can't afford to live on your parents' standard of living, live at a lower level. Think of starting a family. Take some calculated risks. Your late 20s is also a good time to buy a piece of land where you will build a home. Contribute to a retirement plan even if you work in the informal economy. Also start making strategic connections and engage with the world outside your comfort zone or your country. In your 30s, he suggests that you settle down with someone you love. Build a career, a business, or competencies that make you stand out and allow you to charge a premium in the marketplace. Start a family and have children. Don't fall victim to lifestyle inflation, the risk of becoming a spendthrift. Live below your means. Continue contributing to your long-term savings account. Start building a home and just make it habitable. The thrills and flames will follow later. The key goal is to run away from the landlord. Save and invest for growth with the aim of doubling your asset portfolio every 5 to 7 years. Play the compounding game smartly. In your action-packed 40s, deal with raising children and supporting your aging parents. But don't use it as an excuse not to finish the house that you found and your retirement investments. Save for your children's university education, but your children should not be your retirement plan. Don't produce more children. Start imagining that your retirement will look like and what skills and hobbies you need to carry you into your sunset. At this point, you should have 70 times your monthly expenditure in investable assets. In your 50s, retirement is near. Direct your efforts to areas of economic activity that do well with advanced age to keep active and possibly earn some money. This determines if you're ready for retirement. The goal is to have 150 times your monthly expenditure in total assets. Let your children be rather than This is a great time to rebalance your asset portfolio to become more conservative and lean towards generating cash flow to support your chosen lifestyle. In your 60s and beyond, you should be generating cash flow to support your retirement. Have a well-defined succession plan, especially if you have substantial business assets. Here you need to build an investment strategy based on a proper asset allocation, taking only as much risk as you needed and as you require. Plan well for healthcare and travel costs. After talking about what you need to do in your age brackets, Livingstone Mukasa then goes on to talk about rentals and why they're a great way to invest money in Uganda. Rentals in these parts are called mizigo, and he has 5 key areas. The first area he says is location. A good rental investment starts with a good investment in land. Buy land near a solid economic base and near a tax stage. If you're targeting the lower end of the market or a good road network at the upper end of the market, buy land that is likely to appreciate in the future and near social services like hospitals and schools. The next step is to manage your design and construction costs. Inclusive of land, target to spend not more than 100,000 of your target monthly rental income. Also remember, because of Uganda's low wages, the best target monthly rental is between 200 and 600,000 per month. The rental business is a people management business. Recruit your tenants like an HR department and manage them as you would hotel guests. Just like any other business, rentals get better with scale. Anything less than 5 units is hard to manage. Build contingencies. Do calculations based on 10, not 12 months. The remaining 2 months are for repairs, taxes, vacancies. Manage your expectations in any business is a great way to avoid disappointments. He goes on to break down the numbers in terms of how much you can make with rentals and the returns for rentals. And he compares this to treasury bonds and unit trusts, factoring in inflation, and concludes that it's a much better bet to invest in rentals as opposed to the other means of investment that exists in the country. He also has some commentary about exciting times that he sees in this country, especially with developments going farther away from the capital city, and suggests some ways of cashing in, such as, for example, building hotels and using these hotels and benefiting from occupancy rates which are relatively decent. Livingstone also goes on to talk about why our enterprising culture is not transforming our country. And he shares a book, Invention of Enterprise, published by the Harvard Business Review. He compares USA to India, talks about how businesses were based a lot more on social capital and communal ownership as opposed to the fundamentals of capitalism, and why this was a major hindrance in the acceleration of India's development. He also publishes a critical look at treasury bonds and the effects on Uganda's growth prospects, which matches what he had said before about his preference for rentals to other instruments of financial management or savings or wealth generation. He also suggests that we're going to come into a time not just for Uganda but for Africa where the private wealth management economy is going to boom. There's a lot more that you can find from Mr. Livingstone Mukasa's Facebook page. Also, I needed to mention that he has won several awards for his projects. He had a project called Mazima Retirement Plan. He also, as I said before, won awards in Luxembourg, where he traveled to receive an award for his work in the financial sector and with applications that he had built. In addition to that, he created a company called BitBricks, which I was an initial investor, a small amount of money that I had back then, which allowed you to invest in real estate, real estate project that he was involved in. And for small amounts of money that you invested in this project, you would get a return on that investment after about 2 years. Of course, depending on the money invested in those projects. So the plan was he takes on a construction project of building rentals, and then consults or recruits members of society to invest specified amounts of money for these construction projects. Once construction is done and the rentals are sold, or the apartments are sold, then the profits are shared between those who invested money in the first place. And so that was BitBricks. Very successful project. He's got other things he's working on now, but also I encourage you to seek him out for his book, The Great Financial Rebuild and Investing in the Future. These were published quite a number of years ago. His name, as I said before, is Livingstone Mukasa, popularly known as the People's Professor. He also had a show on Spirit FM in which he used to talk about finance and give his advice. But he also has a very active page where he answers questions from listeners and from people who read his material. So you can find him on Meta's Facebook. So that was all we have time for. Thank you for listening. Those of you who want to subscribe to our magazine can do so. It will only cost you $24. You get 12 issues sent to either your WhatsApp, your Telegram, or your Signal account, or to an email of your choice. The magazine covers mainly technology and investment. The plan is to transition slowly into angel investment, so hopefully we'll have built a decent database of the who is who in the technology and innovation space in Greater East Africa, and then connect these people that are building solutions, building companies, to investors. And so using the knowledge that we've been collecting for the last 9-10 years in the magazine and in the podcast, make this information available to investors, and hopefully be in a place where I have generated enough income myself to invest in some of these projects. So thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. I look forward to talking to you next time.
Intersection Magazine Podcast.